Good evening and welcome. It's going to be a windy but pleasant night for playoff softball. We are in Weslaco, Texas, along with Mike Gonzalez. I'm Scott Harrison, and again, always exciting when we have tournament softball. This is Texas Class 6A softball area playoff series. It is the Weslaco Lady Panthers hosting PSJA North Lady Raiders, and action is getting underway, and we'll give some of the lineups as we get an opportunity. And the first pitch is in, and it's a strike. Mike Gonzalez, again, this is the second game of the series.
That is correct, Scott. And PSJA North came away with a big Game 1 victory last night, 5-2 at home. And now are in the brink of advancing to the third round for the Lady Panthers. It's a must-win situation. They lose tonight, the season is over. And on the mound, or in the circle, is Katia Reyes, who is their ace. She pitched last night, and they're sticking with her here in Game 2.
And tell us about the batter.
The leadoff hitter is Caitlin Luera, who now has a call of 1 ball and 2 strikes. She's going to be the leadoff hitter, followed by the center fielder, Alexa Salinas. And in the hole will be first baseman, Jenna Fabella.
And that pitch low, 2-2. And I know some of these young ladies can throw several different pitches, can't they? They can throw a ball that sinks. They can throw a fastball. So it's a multi-pitch game, just like regular baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Katia brings a lot to the table. She is very good with her location and does very well when the pressure is on. She had a great year, outstanding year, went 17-8 in the regular season, as 1-1 in the playoffs. Had a big victory last Friday against Los Fresnos in a bi-district round. Suffered the loss last night as we have a swing and a miss for her first strikeout. Had the loss last night, Scott. However, she did very, very well. Only gave up 3 hits.
Yeah, wasn't it a big 6th inning? That was the difference?
There was a big 6th inning where PSJA North scored 4 runs. The Lady Panthers were leading 2-1 after they scored the go-ahead run in the 6th, and unfortunately the Lady Raiders scored 4 runs off of an error. All the runs were unearned, and that was the difference in the game. However, Weslaco had a lot of opportunities throughout the game, left 13 base runners stranded. So that's something to keep an eye on. That's something I'm sure Coach Mario Rodriguez would like to change in tonight's big game 2.
Lily Torres up, as Mike mentioned earlier, number 7, second baseman, and first pitch is a strike. 1 out. We're at the top of the first. Again, right next to the big football stadium here in Weslaco. Both Weslaco East and the Panthers play there, and enjoyed doing many football games over there in the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's right, Scott. Welcome back to Weslaco. I know this is your first softball game of the season. And it's a playoff game,
right.
So that's why we have a guy like you as our announcer, always coming in for those big games, big moments.
I thought it was because Joey was getting his master's degree tonight.
That's too.
Let's tell the real truth. I like how you build me up. I think the real truth is, and you know what, I have a master's degree myself. I am proud of that, and for Joey to get that tonight, that's a great achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always wonderful, and hopefully Joey's watching us, and we'll give a quick shout out to him. Hello, and enjoy the game.
Right, and if needed, 2 out of 3 series you got to win. And if this game goes a third game, is it back at PSJA North, right?
Tomorrow night at 7:30, back at PSJA North. So right now, Coach Rodriguez is focusing on game number 2 here. Needs to win tonight and force that game 3.
Mile Rodriguez, the head coach, foul ball. So pitcher well ahead in this count, 0-2. There's the delivery, just a little bit low. Trying to hit the outside corner, didn't quite do it that time. 1-2 is the count.
Talking to Coach Rodriguez before the game, we talked about the 13 batters that were stranded. He was just like, we need to put the ball in play. He goes, we had opportunities. He goes, not that we played bad. We have a foul back here.
I should have brought my glove.
Yeah, if you brought your glove, you probably would get 2 or 3 of these tonight. Maybe some free nachos.
Do we get to keep them? I'm just kidding, but
right.
With my luck, it would land right in my nachos, and my dark shirt would turn into a yellow shirt very quickly.
But yeah, Coach Rodriguez felt like his team had opportunities last night, had bases loaded, and on several occasions, as we have a pop-up here. Great dive there by Audrey Escamilla.
Yeah, she's quite a versatile player, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a 4-year starter. She's one of 2 players that are left from the 2016 Final Four team that played in Austin. Now they're seniors. Her and Helen Gonzalez represents the other player, the shortstop. And so this is really the last ride for them. But, I mean, both players are hoping this isn't the last game in a Weslaco Lady Panther uniform.
Another foul tip. Staying alive is Torres. And I want to say, good crowd here, both for the Lady Panthers and the Lady Raiders. We're in the stands this time. It's a lot of fun. And we're by a lot of Lady Raiders fans. And it's always good to see people travel to support their team.
And not only that, Scott, but, I mean, oftentimes we'll see people from out of town. Say, like last week, we saw a couple in the stands from Harlingen and believe from even Laredo, because they were here scouting, but we saw from a Mercedes and even at Calchasa here last Friday, which is always nice to see.
Ground ball to second base, easy out, and that is the second out.
Lily Torres did a great job there on that grounder. Had a very good game defensively against Los Fresnos in the bi-district round, and also had a solid game last night.
Right. So Alexia Salinas grounds out. I may have mentioned by mistake Torres was at bat. It actually was Salinas. Torres is in the field, but we'll get this all straight. Getting to see the teams for the first time. Salinas was the center fielder. Now Jenna Fabula is up, a first baseman, number 9. And that's a strike.
And the thing about Katia, Scott, that a lot of people may not know is that she's only a freshman. She's only a freshman, 15 years old, and is already the ace of the staff here. Had a solid ERA of a little over 3.
She has some power when she throws that pitch. A little bit outside.
Her location is outstanding.
Yeah.
And she can come at you inside and does a wonderful
we saw the
job with her
inside
location.
pitch that time. Just missed a little outside the strike zone, but a nice inside pitch with lots of oomph behind it. And that time she just misses the outside corner. They're actually called a strike, so it's going to be 1-2.
And what really helps her, Scott, is that she has a great defense behind her, and that's something that she talked to me about when we interviewed her after the win last Friday, is that she knows what she brings to the table, but at the same time, she lets her defense make the play.
Bounces in there. Count is even, 2-2. 2 outs, top of the first inning. Lady Panthers hosting the Lady Raiders tonight. This is a K-West production. We appreciate everybody watching. And that out goes to right field.
Ashley Sada.
Yeah, Ashley Sada. So 3 up, 3 down. We played 1/2 inning of play, and there is no score between the Lady Panthers and Lady Raiders. This is a K-West production.
Talk to your counselor about CTE courses that provide academic credit in science, math, English, fine arts, and speech. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for CTE.
And we're back in Weslaco again, along with Mike Gonzalez. I'm Scott Harrison, and it's playoff time. Everything gets a little more intense in the spring, no matter what sport you're in, because you are in the postseason. And we do have now the leadoff batter coming up for Weslaco, and it's going to be shortstop, number 6, Helen Gonzalez. And a pitcher tonight for the Lady Raiders, number 7, Andrea Salazar.
She's the number 2 pitcher for the Lady Raiders. Last night, Lady Raiders pitched their ace, which was Heaven Lozano.
Yeah, she's playing tonight.
She is still playing tonight. Went about 5 innings or so, but Andrea Salazar is their number 2 pitcher.
And hits that ball, little tap, and she is safe. Now that looked kind of like a check swing, didn't it to you? Was it a bunt or check swing? It kind of
right.
Like, yeah.
The thing about Helen Gonzalez and then the hitter coming up, Lily Torres, is that they do a very good job at slapping the ball, and usually they go the opposite side.
Yeah.
And if they're able to put the ball in play with their speed, they beat out the throw at first more often than not. And Helen at that time hustled her way to first base. And even though the pitcher did an outstanding job of getting the ball there and throwing it to first, Helen by then had already touched the bag for an infield single.
And again, it looked like on that ball, once again, the batter, Torres, thought about maybe slapping at it again.
Right, and if you notice, Scott, the first baseman and third baseman kind of come in. They kind of cheat in a little bit, expecting Lily to lay down a bunt. And that's usually the strategy for Weslaco. They like to send those runners. At that time, Helen was hustling her second base there, but the ball was fouled.
So 1-1 is the count. No score. Bottom of the first. For people not familiar, unless it goes to extra innings, these young ladies softball games are regulation 7-inning games.
Yeah, that is correct. If it does go extra innings, I believe they just keep going until somebody wins, being that this is the playoffs. And
well,
yeah, so somebody has to win tonight, no doubt about it.
So to speak, would you like to have been a fly on the wall when Lily went over to talk to head coach Mario Rodriguez there?
And you'll see that a lot with being this is the first time I see PSJA North, but you'll see that in softball is a coaches will call their player over, and they'll talk a little strategy, because if you see Coach Rodriguez standing there in the coach's box behind third base, he's watching how PSJA North is playing their defense there.
It's a 2-1 count. That time slapping at the ball again, goes to the shortstop. Has no play at second. Threw it down to first, and both runners are safe. That was an interesting play. Shortstop thought of stepping on second, knew she couldn't get the runner, and then it stalled just enough that she couldn't make the throw in time to first.
You know, you wonder if Caitlin Luetta at short was better off just throwing it to first and taking that chance of getting Lily out there, but she thought she had a play at second base, but just Helen's speed. Helen was able to get to the bag quicker, and by the time she threw the first base, it was just a little too late. And watching the scoreboard there, they're giving Lily an infield hit. So 2 infield hits to start this inning. Usually, Scott, when that happens, especially for Weslaco High, you have Katia Reyes now batting at number 3, and then Audrey Escamilla on deck. They always do a great job bringing those runners in.
And already we see Stephanie Lugo, the head coach of the Lady Raiders, going out to the mound to talk, bringing everybody in. So she's concerned already. Sure,
and while we have a moment, Scott, we can talk a little bit about Stephanie Lugo, the head coach of PSJA North. She's in her first year and is actually a product of Harlingen South. Graduate of 2013, was on some great teams that went 3-4 rounds deep. Pretty much every year she was there. The 4-year start was actually a defensive player of the year, her senior year, I believe. And so she's used to being on this stage and has done a great job in her first year here at PSJA North.
All right. 1-0 is the count as we get back to action on the Reyes. And she will bunt the ball. That will advance the runners. And as the ball gets thrown to first, the first baseman can't quite hold it. And the runner is safe. And we also see on that play a run scores. We'll have to see how they score that play.
That'll be interesting how they score it. I mean, because it was going to be a sacrifice bunt. And it looked like she would have been out at first had the first baseman caught it. But she didn't. And as a result, Gatia is at first base. And Helen Gonzalez scores to make it 1-0. And the scoreboard does show error there. So no RBI. And that's going to go as an E3.
So Audrey's at bat.
And if you notice, Gatia hustled when she didn't even have to hustle because they're so worried about Lily Torres at third base that Gatia was just kind of able to kind of hop her way to second base.
So would that be catcher indifference or would that be a stolen base?
That's a good question.
You'll have to wait and see.
I would personally give her a stolen base.
Yeah, I would too. But again, we'll have to wait and see. And that's a strike. Escamilla, talk a little bit about Audrey some more.
Oh, just phenomenal player, one of the leaders. Pretty much since her freshman year, just made a difference on this team as a player and just has really carried the team.
And it's a grounder to short. Long throw is good for the out. So nice throw that time by the shortstop, Caitlin Maria, to get the first out of the inning.
Right. She still did her job, though. She grounded to short, but Lily Torres scored from third base to make it a 2-0 now in favor of the Lady Panthers there. So a great start for the Lady Panthers. Got a 1-2-3 top of the first and now have 2 runs here in their half of the first inning here.
Jordan Diaz at bat, center fielder. First pitch is a ball. Again, Andrea Salazar, the starter tonight. Strike that time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Jordan as a center fielder had an outstanding game last Friday night in the bi-district round. Made a lot of great catches out in the outfield against an explosive Los Fresnos team that came in with over 40 home runs in the regular season.
Took a big cut that time. Strike. 1-2.
And then the wind is howling out.
So
I would estimate 15, 20 miles an hour.
Could we see a homer tonight?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, the Lady Panthers do have the capability of getting a few home runs.
That just rolled in, and that is going to give the runner a chance to get down to third. Throw made, but very easily it was Reyes getting to third. And Reyes, I know she got on base. What kind of hitter is she? You said she's just a freshman, 15 years old.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of their best hitters. I believe she had like about a 330, 340 batting average during the regular season. And she puts the ball in play. I mean, that's something that Coach Rodriguez really likes from his ball club. And with one out and a runner at third, they got to take advantage of this opportunity, Scott. This is something that last night they had problems with in stranding 13 runners, is not getting those big runs in with less than 2 outs. I believe they had 2 or 3. There was like 2 or 3 times they had bases loaded and like 1 out and weren't able to capitalize.
So the count is full, foul ball, and a ball that time. It's 3-2. 1 out. So sacrifice fly, an infield out could bring in another run. This time fouled over to the right side. Good eye, staying alive. Do these young ladies have pitch counts at all?
They do. I believe in the press boxes where they keep tap of that. So later in the game, we may hear the PA announcer announce the number of pitches.
Because there's been a lot of pitches in this bottom of the first. And that's going to be a walk outside. So coming up at bat, number 14, Lynn Garcia, the first baseman. Again, Diaz walks, and Reyes is at third. 1 out, 2-0. Lady Panthers lead. Lady Raiders won last night, opening game of the series. Should the Lady Panthers win this one, there'll be a third game tomorrow night. First pitch is a strike. And now going down to second is Diaz. So runners in scoring position.
And if you notice, Diaz was just kind of hesitating just to see what the catcher would do. And what happens is if they decide to throw to second, well, guess what? The play is still alive, so that gives Katia Reyes an opportunity to maybe flirt with the idea of coming home too, and we've seen that done before.
Right.
Being that the softball field is a little smaller than a baseball field, the length between home plate and third base is much closer than in baseball.
Fastball high. Count is 1-1. Again, 1 out. Foul ball down the right field line.
You know, these hitters, though, early on are taking pretty healthy cuts. They are being aggressive at the plate.
Would you consider the Lady Panthers a power hitting team?
It's a combination of finesse and power because their top hitters love to slap the ball the opposite way.
That pitch low. Count even 2-2.
And so when you have a combination of that, I mean, they can come at you at different directions. And I think what makes this team great is when you have players like Helen and Lily that can get on base. Then you have hitters like Garcia there with a single that can drive
to
them
the
in.
right side, and that is going to bring in both runners. No play to the plate. That single plates 2, and that doubles the score, 4-0. So Garcia, pair of RBIs.
Going the opposite way, found a nice hole between first and second. Second baseman playing more toward the bag there, and the Garcia just hit it at a perfect spot there, and that allowed Reyes and Garcia to score easily.
A discussion at the mound as number 9, Ashley Sada, right fielder.
Beg your pardon, it was Jordan Diaz that scored that 4th run.
Okay.
And Garcia's the one that got the 2 RBI single.
Yeah, Garcia. And Diaz and Reyes came in.
Right, and unlike last night, tonight, at least here in the first inning, the Lady Panthers are getting those big hits, those timely hits that Coach Rodriguez likes to see.
So it was a big 6th inning of 4 runs last night that helped the Lady Raiders. Let's see if this is foreshadowing a big first inning of 4 runs, helping the Lady Panthers. First pitch, swinging strike. Much stealing by the Lady Panthers? They do a lot of stealing?
They can, but again, it's more with their top hitters where you'll see Coach Rodriguez be more aggressive with the runners
well, there was
on base.
Some respect there for Diaz as the catcher threw to first base. Diaz back easily, didn't even have to slide back in. But I guess they have a little concern about her maybe running, or at least not getting a good lead, that if a ball down the line or something could score her maybe. This time, ball to short. And again, we're going to have maybe a double play, and yes, we do. So that ends the inning, but a big inning for the Lady Panthers. 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and none left on base. We've played 1 inning of baseball, and it is the Lady Panthers over the Lady Raiders 4-0. This is a K-West production.
Weslaco ISD All-Day Pre-K, where every child has a unique way of learning. Through fun activities, we encourage your child's creativity and compassion. At Weslaco ISD, our TEA certified teachers provide the highest standard of education along with social and emotional learning. Come join our family and one of the many elementary schools recognized with numerous distinction designations for their academic programs. Weslaco ISD, All-Day Pre-K, the right choice.
And we're back in Weslaco, Texas after 1 inning of play. Big bottom of the first for the Lady Panthers as Weslaco leads PSJA North 4-0. This is the Texas Class 6A Softball Area Playoff Series. Best 2 out of 3. Lady Raiders won last night. Lady Panthers trying to even the series. Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. And now coming up, a young lady who's quite a pitcher. We'll see how she does batting. Heaven Lazaro, right fielder, number 12 for PSJA North. And again, you were talking earlier, Mike, what a nice night she had pitching last night.
She did a great job there slowing down that Lady Panther attack, I guess you can say. But, I mean, she had a lot of help on defense. I know some of the infielders made some terrific plays there. Again, I believe she threw about 5 innings. But she did her job there, holding them at bay and just enabling the Lady Raiders to come away with a victory.
After a foul ball, second pitch is low, so it's 1-1. Reyes, the pitcher tonight, hits the outside corner, 1-2.
I think the happiest guy right now, Scott, would have to be Coach Rodriguez, because he has his A's out there for the second night in a row. Got the pitched all 7 innings last night, and then now he gave her the ball again, and now has a 4-run lead.
And that is a pop-up to center field, and the out is made that time. So nice job catching the ball by Jordan Diaz.
Once again, Jordan come away with a nice catch out there. I mean, with this wind, Scott, playing, gusting at about 15, 20 miles an hour, can play tricks on you sometimes.
And now Andrea Salazar's tonight's pitcher is batting, so we'll have to see how her cuts are at the plate. And she takes a big cut on the first one, but misses strike 1. She was looking to send that one out of here. Big swing.
Big swing. Maybe she knows which way the wind is blowing,
heard
and she
you.
wants to. Yeah, she heard me, and she wants to send this one to the parking lot.
And the second pitch she swings at and a strike, and I'm not laughing at her swinging at the ball and missing. What I'm laughing at is I did park my car way out there in the parking lot. Took no risks.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Park behind the bus, perhaps.
Well behind the bus. And this pitch is low, 1-2. 1 out, fly ball to center field. 2 primary pitchers for the Lady Raiders leading off this inning. All right. That is going to be a ball, 2-2. Reyes, how far can she go tonight? Can she pitch another complete game?
Well, absolutely. I mean, that was something Coach Rodriguez talked to me about, that he's like in softball. He goes, it's not like baseball where maybe you need to rest your pitcher the next night, as we have a foul back here.
Oh, one-handed catch. But he looks like an athlete, all right? He looks like he could be a member of the football team.
Do you know who that was,
No,
actually?
I couldn't actually see.
That was Seth Sanchez, I believe.
Okay.
The defensive end for the Weslaco Panthers.
He
Very
did a great
athletic.
job.
Great job.
Boy,
yes.
he disrupted a lot of backfields this past year in football.
Yeah.
See, I know an athlete when I see one, right?
Right.
Caught it one-handed. So, and of course he is in the bleachers right behind the plate. And that pitch, a little bit high, but swinging at it, and a strikeout. Looked like it might have been a little bit out of the strike zone, but again, another big swing, and fortunate for the Lady Panthers, if you're a fan, a strikeout, so that makes it 2 outs. And now coming to the plate, Giselle Mendoza. And she's a designated player?
Designated player.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, batting from the left side.
Okay, we'll have to wait on that because she sends it sky high, and Jordan Diaz will make her second catch for the out this inning. And so that is the end of the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the second, and it is the Lady Panthers over the Lady Raiders, 4-0. This is a K-West production. And we're back once again. It is a nice evening for baseball. Windy, but no humidity. Nice and cool for this time of the year in my mind. Again,
it's a hazy night, is what it is actually. This time of year, I think what happens is over there in central Mexico, where they I don't know if they burn the sugar cane or what they do, but and all that smoke kind of comes this way down here to the Rio Grande Valley. So we kind of go through this for about a week or two. If you notice, the sun usually sets between center and left field. Tonight is just going to be a gloomy sunset as we go into twilight.
And at bat now, number 19, third baseman for Weslaco, Merlin Chavarria. We're going to see a little Alex Bregman out there tonight.
Or Chris Bryant.
Yeah. I know you're a big Cubs fan like I am. Of course, I'm also an LSU fan, so I do like Bregman. I've talked to him several times. Always a nice young man. Actually saw Chris Bryant play when he was in the minor leagues in New Orleans. So
He was MVP, wasn't he?
yeah. So 0-1 first pitch, a strike. Second pitch inside. 1-1 is the count. Still pitching Andrea Salazar, number 7 for the Lady Raiders. Swinging strike. 1-2. Always good to be ahead in the count if you're the pitcher.
And she's been ahead in just about every hitter tonight. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's Katia Reyes that's been ahead. But now Salazar could use a
high fly ball. And that one the center fielder can't get to. Gets turned around near the what would be a warning track if it was a regular baseball field. And it winds up being a 2-base hit. And I'm not so sure she touched the ball, so I'm not going to say it's going to be an error. It might be a hit.
It might be a hit, might be an error.
Could have been the wind, I'm not sure. But she got turned around and could not get it.
I actually think the wind did play a factor there because the center fielder there,
Alexis
Salinas, kind of misjudged it out there. And
that's going to be a hit.
They ruled it a hit.
And I can't blame them. She never did touch the ball. And that pitch is low. Kendra Garcia, left fielder. I apologize, Stacy Batista. Got the wrong team there, number 10. I got tricked there. She's got that long hair, beautiful hair, but I can't see the number.
Yeah, it's very hard to see the number sometimes. In the basketball, the same thing happens.
Yeah.
You were actually talking about the designated player, and that's what Stacy Batista is playing tonight. But basically, the designated player bats for the flex player.
Okay, and looks like a wild pitch. So runner goes to third. Don't think it was a pass ball. If I was scoring, I'd call it a wild pitch.
Right, but Batista is the designated player, and playing the flex position, or actually playing left field, is Jada Lopez. However, we can actually see Jada Lopez getting at bat tonight.
All right, second baseman has the ball. Run will score and cannot get it to first in time. Should be scored a single with another run coming in. And it was a tough play. Fielder was off balance, tried to get it over there, couldn't get the zip on the ball she needed. Maybe also thinking about making a play at the plate, not sure. I can't go in her head, but that could have distracted her a little bit. The runner going toward the plate, but run scores. There's going to be an RBI, and RBI going to Stacy Batista, and Jada Lopez, flex player, left fielder, number 13 coming in. So we got designated players and flex players.
Right. But Chavarria did not Chavarria, I beg your pardon. Stacy Batista doing a great job there hustling to first base.
Yes.
Made it easily and bringing home that run. So that wild pitch making a difference in this inning.
And little bunt goes foul.
And that's the left, batting from the left side is Helen Gonzalez, who singled and scored her first time up in the first inning there. As you notice, the infield in the corners coming in, respecting Helen's speed. She's very good at putting the ball, slapping it just like that.
All right, and an out over there in the outfield.
That's a great job there by Kendra Garcia there in left, playing at a perfect position there and making that catch there.
Well, Lily Torres is back again. Talk about Lily's first at bat.
Yeah, Lily also singled and scored in the first inning. She scored the Lady Panthers a second run in that big first inning.
Right. All right. And of course, we were talking about Lopez. She's not in the game right now, I don't think, is she? Is Lopez in? I'm trying to.
She plays left field.
Okay.
Jada
Yeah.
Lopez.
Okay.
And I know you covered some girls basketball games during the season.
Yes.
She was a great, did a great job playing the guard position.
They've had some good teams here, Lady Panthers, haven't they? Runner is going and gets in. The ball was bobbled by the catcher for a moment. Don't think, though, it was a wild pitch. We'll have to wait and see the scoring. 1-2 is the count. And that ball up in the air and out by the shortstop.
Nice job there by Caitlin Luetta at short, getting that pop fly there.
All right. Katia Reyes, the pitcher, is up again.
Katia reached on an error her first time up, but she also scored. She scored the Lady Panthers' third run of the inning. Can help herself out here already with a 5-0 lead. I know last week against Los Fresnos that she had a big RBI single to center field.
And tip foul. 0-2 the count. 2 outs. Bottom of the second. 4 runs for the Lady Panthers in the first, 1 in the bottom of the second. That ball outside, ball 1.
Very good eye there as Salazar looked like she came with a high fastball there, and Ray's holding up there.
Have we seen a lot of change-ups tonight? It doesn't seem like we've seen a lot of change-ups tonight, have we?
We've seen some,
Yeah.
but we've seen more fastballs.
That one low, 2-2. I know they have some pitches that kind of go high to low. I guess they,
Little off-speed
Yeah,
pitch or
yeah.
change up, yeah.
yeah. And that ball hit down toward right field, over the right fielder's head, and that's going to score a run, and that is going to be a double for Reyes. And the right fielder trying to do a good job. Heaven Lazaro to get to it just went over her head, and now throwing the ball back in, and Reyes will get down to third base.
Yeah, Heaven Lozano had no shot at that. Reyes hit it hard to the right side there. A few feet away from the wall, bounced off the wall, and Batista scored easily. And it's 6-0 now, fair to the Lady Panthers.
Audrey Escamilla, the catcher, number 4 in, and as you mentioned, what, a 4-year starter. And once again, out to the mound goes Stephanie Lugo. That's her first year with the Lady Raiders. Didn't she go to Harlingen South?
She went to Harlingen South and had a lot of success there. Went deep into the playoffs there, was Defensive Player of the Year. But this is her first year as a head coach of her career. She's a 2013 graduate. She's a very young lady who has already taken
very mature
PSJA
talking
North.
to her. Yeah, she was very mature, but
Very
very,
mature.
very, very accommodating. You know, it was getting toward the time she had to talk to the umpires and everything, but she was very accommodating to us. So we want to tell all the Lady Raider fans, I think you got a real winner as a coach there. Classy,
Absolutely.
talented. You know, I think she really represents your school well. I want to make that clear. For someone as young as she is, acts beyond her years. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of coaches, and so have you, of all different type of personalities.
Absolutely.
But she gets an A+ as far as we say dealing with. And of course, obviously, Mario Rodriguez, a very nice man. Enjoyed joking with him and talking to him before the game too.
And Stephanie actually played college softball as well at Temple College, and then finished her career at Texas A&M Kingsville.
Nice. All right, first pitch, a ball. Andrea Salazar all the way so far for the Lady Raiders. That is going to go to short, and the shortstop will throw it high, and Audrey is safe. Run comes in. Have to see if it's an error or not. Shortstop did a nice job of gobbling it up, throwing it to first, but it was high. First baseman had to jump over the bag to get it.
And it looks like they gave the shortstop an error there.
Yes.
The ball was thrown, as you mentioned, Scott, too high. And Audrey hustling to first base as we have a courtesy runner now. That'll be number 27, Jules Garcia.
Okay. An error charge to Luetta, Caitlin Luetta. Second error of the game against the Lady Raiders. One in each inning.
And that's a big play, Scott, because that came with 2 outs. That would have ended the inning, and the Lady Panthers were a victim of that last night.
So that run will be unearned?
Correct.
Yeah, at least as of now.
The Lady Raiders took advantage of an error in that big 6th inning last night.
And I apologize, since there were 2 outs, it automatically will be unearned. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. Yeah, I was just going to say that, the 4 runs that PSJA North got in the 6th inning last night, that came off of an error and opened the gates for a 4-run inning.
All right, strike that time, evens up the count at 1-1. 7-0, Lady Raiders lead, bottom of the second. Excuse me, Lady Panthers lead. Ball high that time. Kind of sailed up. 2-1 is the count. Good crowd here tonight, still coming in. We're used to the big crowds for Panthers football, but it's good to see people get out here for some of the other sports too. And we talked about Seth Sanchez being out here, one of the football players. We know that a lot of athletes come out for the football games from other sports. It's good to see the football guys come out and support some of their fellow athletes, fellow Panthers.
Yeah, especially that this is the playoffs, and it's a big game.
2-2 the count, 2 outs. That time fouled back. Glad they have the protective fence. I think that would have come our way.
Yeah, we've had a few of the balls that go over the fence, that come our way, but yeah.
Have you ever caught one?
No, I haven't. Well, as a fan, I did one time.
Okay.
Back in 2016,
softball?
actually.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And that little half swing goes into center field for a hit. So runners at first and second. That was kind of, now was that one of those planned kind of half swings, or was that a check swing? What do you think?
I think that was a very good swing. It looked like it got off the end of the bat there, was able to hit it down to center field.
Was she trying to position it there?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Just hit it at the right spot there.
As you were talking about how they like to position hits.
And then like we had Audrey a few batters ago, Katia and Diaz. Those would be considered your power hitters of this lineup.
Right. So Lynn Garcia is up now, first baseman, number 14. And that'll be grounded down the right side, foul. Runners will have to return to first and second. Lady Panthers in the white and purple. Lady Raiders in their dark uniforms. Basic black with white numerals.
But right now it is the purple and white dominating.
Remember the purple people eaters, the old Minnesota Vikings.
From the 1970s.
Yeah. Foul down the third base side.
Yeah,
and
in those days, you had a lot of nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
You had like the Doomsday of Dallas.
Yeah.
You had the Orange Crush
Doomsday
of
defense.
Denver.
Yeah, you're right.
The no-name defense over there in Miami.
Well, that was Killer Bees, too. They had a lot of players on defense with bees.
That's right.
Bob Baumhauer actually has a restaurant in Mobile, Alabama I've been to before. And that is Wings place. That's a foul tip. Still 0-2.
It was a great era
Yeah.
for the NFL. I know Monday Night Football kind of went into its peak, and then the Super Bowl became.
So if Lady Panthers win tonight, are you going to be like Dandy Don and sing Turn Out the Lights? Yeah, the party's over. All right, ground ball towards short, and this time shortstop just goes 2 seconds, steps on the bag, and that is it. So in the inning, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 2 left on base. Final run was 1 unearned. And after 2 full innings of play, it is the Lady Panthers of Weslaco over the Lady Raiders of PSJA North 7-0. You're listening to K-West.
Weslaco ISD graduates receive more than $4 million in college scholarships, including dozens who will play college sports. More than 900 received a certification and are ready for the workforce or continuing their education. Over 400 honor graduates will have opportunities to study at top-tier universities. And we are proud of our scholars graduating from medical school, law school, business school, and Ivy League universities. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for high school and beyond.
And we are back once again in Weslaco, Texas. It's Lady Panthers softball as they host the Lady Raiders. Playoff time, 7-0. Lady Panthers lead as we go to the top of the third. Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison, and a staple at many baseball games, Village People and the YMCA. And I don't know if I should admit it or not, but I've actually, years ago at Bayfest in Mobile, Alabama, I have seen the Village People.
Oh, wow.
Now, did I dance the YMCA? That's a secret that will always be kept secret.
I'll put my money on it that you did.
All right. Again, it is the top of the third. And coming to bat right now is Kendra Garcia, left fielder for the Lady Raiders. 7 hits for the Lady Panthers. We won't say how many for the Lady Raiders. And we'll explain why later, but it's nothing negative.
We don't want to jinx it.
It was nothing against the Lady Raiders. I promise you that. But we're old baseball guys, and I think some of the baseball traditions move to softball too, don't they, Mike?
Absolutely. But the score is 7-0.
Yeah. So that might hint.
Weslaco.
That might hint to how many hits the Lady Raiders had, and
Right.
this may change momentarily. So, especially Katia Reyes has pitched 10 innings, right, in the last 2 days so far. Am I right on that? No, going into
her 10th.
Yeah. 3-0 is the count. All right. So I can at least say there goes the perfect game, right?
Yeah, she had a 1-2-3 first inning and then a 1-2-3
Right.
second inning.
So in all honesty, or all not joking around, this is the first base runner for the Lady Raiders. Leadoff batter of the third inning. Coming to bat, Angel Lozano, third baseman. Beautiful night to be here.
Well, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
Scott, in the 2 games combined, Katia has only given up 3 hits.
Okay.
So we could say that.
All right. And again.
So if you watch last night's game, if
Yes.
there's fans out there that watched last night's game, we know.
All right. And there is a bunt to third, and the runner is out at first. Throw to second. Runner is there safely. So that would have been a 5-3 play.
Right. Beautifully executed by Angel Lozano there, and a terrific job there by Marlene Chavarria there, getting that grounder and throwing it to first base. But that goes down as a sacrifice bunt, as you mentioned, Scott, 5-3.
And we have a runner in scoring position for the first time tonight for the Lady Raiders. 1 out. Top of the third. Glad you're listening to this K-West production. It is Texas Class 6A softball area playoffs. Throw to second, runner back after a ball.
Now batting for the Lady Raiders, Amy Buenrostro.
And
Up to bat is a number 21, Amy Buenrostro there,
okay.
who now has a count of 1 ball and 1 strike, it looks like. we had a different player actually.
Yeah, we did. That's why I I was looking for a minute to who the player was. Who is it again, please?
That's a number 21, Amy Buenrostro.
Okay. Because originally, didn't we have Angelisa Valderes, right?
Right.
Maybe there was a change in this game. I don't know. It's been this way the whole time. Foul ball.
But it is the flex position,
Yeah.
so oftentimes we'll see kind of different things
Yeah.
at that particular at bat. So Coach Lugo there giving Buenrostro an opportunity with a runner at second.
Pitch is high. 2-2, count is even. I like on the scoreboard the Panther eyes kind of staring at you. That was a changeup, and that was a strike. That was a neat pitch, huh?
Right. That's what her third strikeout of the night.
Yeah.
Up next, number 3, Caitlin Doyle.
Great job, great location, and great job by Audrey Escamilla. Perfect position there to get that pitch there, and the umpire called a strike. Big out number 2 there for the second out.
Caitlin Nuera, the shortstop, is up.
And speaking of strikeouts, she struck out swinging to start the game.
Went after a high pitch, looked like she was trying to bunt. Missed, so it's 0-1.
And being that PSJA North finally has a base runner on, they got to keep an eye on Audrey Escamilla behind the plate. Very aggressive there.
Okay, that ball goes down to third. And the runner, are they safe or out over there? Goes to first. Runner gets back. Now runner goes to home. Ball goes over the catcher's head. And the runner is going to score. A lot of things happening there. We'll see if we can get this all together. Was there a hit in there, though? We got to figure that out.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. But we have an injury there.
Yeah.
We just hope the young lady's okay.
Runner shaken up at the plate.
That'd be Kendra Garcia, who scored the Lady Raiders' first run.
And again, she's sitting up. They're looking at her. Okay, so far, we don't see any hits or errors put up on. I know the health of the player is the main concern.
Looks like they gave it an error.
Okay, an error. So would that have been on the third baseman?
Possibly the first baseman because she made the throw to home
Okay.
and it was off the mark.
Okay. So I know it was a bang-bang play at third.
Right. And I want to say that went 5-3-1, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
5-3-2 actually.
Yeah, 5-3-2. Yeah.
5-3-2 with an error on the play.
And that plates a run.
And the runner advanced to second.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be the first error of the game. And, all right, let's all give a big hand. Kendra Garcia gets up, heads to the dugout. We'll have to see if she continues playing, but does walk off under her own power.
Right, and that's great
good.
to see.
Yep.
That's very good news. And immediately, Scott, after the play was over, we had the Weslaco High trainer coming out, and then we had the PSJA North trainer coming out.
Up next, number 22.
Immediately giving her the attention.
Alexis Salinas, center fielder, number 22, is up.
And she grounded to second base, her first time up. And so now the Lady Raiders trying to creep back into this game. Now 7-1, Weslaco High.
Creep, creep. Reminds me of an old TLC song.
Right, back in the 90s.
Yeah, I love music. Everybody knows that. All kinds. So first pitch is a strike, 2 outs. Underhanded throw. You know, it's amazing in softball how they get so much mustard on those pitches with that underhand throw. That's always amazes me, doesn't that to you?
Right, and Reyes there came on that off-speed pitch, was trying to fool Salinas there, but Salinas wasn't fooled at all.
So 1-1 is the count. That ball fouled. It'll be out of play down the right field line. Again, Stadium packed tonight. Full house, lots of fans from both teams out here. Glad to see all the Lady Raider fans that made the trip. Appreciate having you here.
Yeah, we appreciate the PSJA area fans watching this broadcast live. I'd like to welcome them. I know last night KTRI was live.
Okay, hit down the left field side, and it's over the left fielder's head. That is going to score 1 run, and this is going to be a triple. Good throw to third base, but runner gets in there untouched. And so now it is a 7-2 game, and we can say it, the no-hitter is over.
Yeah, Salinas hit it at a perfect spot there with the left fielder kind of cheating towards the infield there. And so with that speed, Salinas' speed was able to go all the way to third base there and gets an RBI.
Isn't Jada Lopez the left fielder? Have I got right on that?
Yes, that is correct.
And she made a good run. It was just over her head.
It just went over her head there and bounced off the wall there, close to the line there.
Yeah, near the foul line.
Near the foul line.
There's a little insignia up on the wall. I'm not sure what it is, but it was right near that. I think that's the distance. So, rally going on right now for the Lady Raiders.
And it is a 2-out rally.
And it's Jenna Fabula, the first baseman.
And she flew to right field her first time up. Ashley Sada made a great catch out there. And that ended the first inning.
1-1 the count. Mike Gonzalez, as usual, king of the stats. That goes back to your newspaper days, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's when I used to cover, I covered football, I covered basketball, baseball, softball. And I'm also very detailed, so I like to keep track of players, team, and individual.
Well, we appreciate you joining me tonight. Last year, we did an all-star football game in June, and that was a lot of fun working with you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I think we did a playoff game too, didn't we?
Have an opportunity.
Yeah.
We had a football game in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, we did that too.
This past November.
Right. Because one year I did it with someone else, a coach, and then last year I did it with you in the Alamo Dome. 1 year with Weslaco East, 1 year with the Weslaco Panthers. So 2 straight years I got to go to the Alamo Dome, enjoyed it. Full count, 3-2. I actually went to one of those AAF games too, the league that went out of business. Good crowds at the Alamo Dome. They had no less than 20,000 for the home games.
Wow, that's impressive.
30,000 for one of the games, then the league goes out of business. I mean, that one up the middle, and that is going to score a runner easy. So the runner comes in, Fabula with a single. Salinas scores. Very clean hit up the middle. No chance for a play as far as making it out or trying to get the runner out.
Yeah, great hitting, great piece of hitting there by Jenna Fabula there up the middle. Like you mentioned, Scott, a clean single, and that drives in Alexa Salinas, and we have ourselves a ball game again. It's 7-3 now.
Well, it was the 6th inning last night when the Lady Raiders had 4 runs. Let's see if they get 4 in the 3rd. A lot of scoring tonight. Bats are alive. Now, let me ask you, first of all, we want to make sure we call this pitch. And it is a ball. It is Heaven Lozado, the right fielder, also pitcher. And now there's going to be a discussion at the plate. Now, Gatia, I think I've seen this in college. Can a pitcher come out and go back in again? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I believe.
I thought I've seen it in college, but again, this is the high school game.
Right.
I realize that.
I've never seen it in high school.
Yeah.
So perhaps they can do that, but I've never seen it done. Usually it's pretty much a traditional way where they'll go there 4 or 5 innings, and if the coach feels like that's enough, they'll take them out and let the bullpen take over.
I want to show respect to Coach Rodriguez. I didn't want to ask him how many pitches Gatia was going to be able to pitch tonight and things like that. But you got to think at some point there's a limit.
I think there's more concern when it's baseball.
Okay.
But it seems to me in talking to these coaches, that it's not in softball. They don't put much of it.
You kind of mentioned that earlier, but I want to make sure I understood that.
Right.
Could she go tomorrow?
Tomorrow she probably wouldn't start, but perhaps can maybe come in, say the 5th inning.
And we're not saying to the Lady Raider fans that the Panthers are going to win this game.
Sure.
We're just saying though, we always like to assume
possibility.
the possibilities. We like to bring up possibilities. We want to make that clear.
Absolutely.
The Lady Raiders are already showing that they're not going to go down easy tonight, so we want to make that clear right away. We don't want those cards and letters coming in. Or I guess in this day, it's texts and emails, right?
Absolutely.
Saying, what do you say at assuming that the Lady Raiders are going to lose? No, we're not saying that at all. But we're just trying to speculate what might happen if there's a game 3. 3-0 count. So 4 straight pitches. Heaven goes down to first. And I will say this, since we're a family program, Heaven is a heck of a player. You like that?
Yeah. Heaven isn't too far away.
Yeah. That's a pretty name, too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's a beautiful name.
If I ever had a child, I'd have to think about that name.
Absolutely.
I love that name. Okay. So, Heaven is on base. Andrea Salazar, the pitcher, is up.
And if Andrea gets on, Scott, we'll have the time run at the plate.
Well, it's a high pop-up, and it goes to second base, and that is going to be an out. So in the inning, we had 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and I believe 1 left on base. And at the end of 2.5 innings, it is 7 for the Lady Panthers, 3 for the Lady Raiders. This is a K-West production.
At Weslaco ISD, our elementary schools are diving into new and inventive methods of learning that are transforming lives one mind at a time. Our innovative learning practices have earned our elementary schools numerous TEA distinction designations for their academic programs. Now with open enrollment, WISD, academics, arts, and athletics. For families everywhere, Weslaco ISD elementary schools are the right choice.
All right, we are back at Weslaco High School, Lady Panthers softball field. Going to the bottom of the 3rd, Lady Panthers leading the Lady Raiders, and the score is 7-3. Pitching change. Young lady who had a great outing last night, Heaven Lazaro, now takes the mound, pitching instead of Andrea Salazar. Mike Gonzalez, Scott Harrison here, and Lady Panthers coming to the plate. And this time, to lead off the inning, right fielder Ashley Sada. So, also, Coach Lugo not afraid to use her starting pitcher from last night, but this time not bringing her in till the bottom of the 3rd.
Right. And Andrea Salazar pitched only 2 innings.
And that is going to be a single just inside the right field line. Actually going to be a double. And now all the way to 3rd base. Nice job by Sada. Again, we were kind of shielded from where the ball went down the line because of the dugout. But apparently it must have gone almost into the corner because Sada able to make it to 3rd.
And Sada hit it over the first baseman head and landed just fair inside the foul line there.
I mean, just by inches.
By inches. And then like you mentioned, I want to say it rolled all the way to the wall and toward the fence there, allowing her to go all the way to 3rd base.
We have one blind spot because of the dugout from where we're sitting, so can't see really in the right field corner. So 3rd base is where Sada winds up. And remember, that was Heaven's first batter. And now, Merlin Chavaria, the 3rd baseman.
And she doubled and scored her last time up.
1-0 the count when she pops it up. Gonna go to center fielder, and the center fielder misplays it. Run will score. Did not touch the ball though, so I don't know if it's gonna be an error. Lost it maybe in the lights, not sure.
We'll wait for the scoreboard.
And that would be an RBI if it's not an error.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 10, Stacy Bautista.
Stacy Bautista, designated player up. Lady with the pretty hair that covers her number.
And she was given an RBI single there.
Okay.
It was a base hit.
Okay. Well, again, the center fielder looked like she was going to get it, but she never touched it. And that makes a lot of difference. Celine's never touched the ball to whether it is a hit or error.
And I just think the wind had something to do with it.
Yeah, that could have been the wind.
I think the outfielders are having problems with the wind out there.
That's fair enough. This time, it hits the hits the runner, and that will be an out. Looked like it was a possibility of a single down the right side, but hit the batter running. I keep saying batter. Hit the runner running, and that was an out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the ball bounced off of Chavarria there for interference and is automatically out. But you mentioned, Scott, I think that would have been an easy base hit. I went to the right side there, right in that hole. And instead of two on and nobody out, now there's just one runner on and one out.
Helen Gonzalez, shortstop at bat, top of the order. And this time she tries to hit the ball, that little positioning swing, but goes right to the pitcher, and she gets the double play. She catches the ball, and the runner can't get back to first, so it's a double play. So in that inning, we have 2 hits, 1 run, no errors, no one left on base. After 3 complete innings of play, it is 8 runs for the Lady Panthers, 3 for the Lady Raiders. This is a K-West production.
Before Clarissa Renteria was a dentist, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a cheerleader, played softball, and started college early through the dual enrollment program. She graduated from UTPA before earning her degree from the University of Texas School of Dentistry in Houston. Now she is Dr. Renteria, creating beautiful smiles at Professional Dental Group. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dr. Clarissa Renteria, WISD was the right choice.
And here we are once again, Weslaco, Texas, along with Mike Gonzalez. I'm Scott Harrison, going to the top of the 4th inning, softball playoffs. Lady Raiders, hosted by the Lady Panthers. Lady Raiders at bat. And coming up, Giselle Mendoza, designated player.
And she flied out to center field her first time up in the 2nd inning. Takes a pitch for strike 1.
And that ball is fouled off. Of course, last half inning, it was a run for the Lady Panthers. They have scored in all 3 innings so far. 4, 3, and 1 is what we see on the scoreboard. Top of the 3rd, 3 runs for the Lady Raiders. And that is a ball hit down to second. Grounder picked up cleanly, thrown to first for the out. So nice job by Lily Torres getting the ball over to Lynn Garcia.
Just so smooth there at second base. They're doing a great job getting those grounders. Has done that all year long.
Up next, number 2.
Made the last out actually in Friday night's win. So Lily has been busy at second base.
Kendra Garcia, left fielder. Was she the one shaken up earlier?
No.
And okay.
Yeah, that was another player.
Okay.
Oh, it was. So it.
The first pitch is a ball 1.
Yeah, she was the one that was shaken up. She walked and scored on that throwing there.
Yeah,
but it's good to see her back.
That's what I'm saying. That was the reason I brought it up. It's good. With all the scoring, we kind of lost track of her for a while, seeing how she was, but she is playing and still in there, and that was good. She walked off, she sat up for a while. The trainers tended to her at home plate after she scored, walked back to the dugout, and obviously stayed in the game. And that's great to see. I've seen too many injuries in the last 24 hours. I work for the Vipers, color analyst for them, and I saw James Harden get an eye injury, saw Steph Curry get a dislocated finger, I guess, in the basketball game last night. All right, that is a strikeout. So nice job there. 2 outs.
And for Katia, that's strikeout number 4.
Up next, number 1, Angel Lozano.
Came with the heater there, and Garcia chased it.
Angel Lozano in, third baseman, number 1.
And she doesn't have an official at bat because she had that sacrifice bunt that moved Garcia to second base. Laid down a beautiful bunt.
So sun is set. Like I say, perfect night for me. Some people might think it's a little cool. I don't know with the winds, but I love it. I don't like the humidity.
Yeah, South Texas weather where the humidity starts creeping in, but the nights are beautiful.
Oh yeah. Ball is low. 1-1 is the count.
Not sure if we'll get any more cool fronts until October or November, but the evenings are still very nice here in South Texas.
Well, those early games, when Weslaco goes at home, whether it be the Panthers or the Wildcats, it's nice to be in the air-conditioned press box. Let me leave it at that.
Absolutely. And being that this was a 7:30 first pitch.
Yeah, that's smart, by the way, making it 7:30.
Right. That allowed the sun to go down a little bit more.
You know, even for the players trying to play in the sun to catch the balls, but also for the fans sitting out here. So count is 1-2. Again, Lozano strikes out. And so 3 up, 3 down. And after 3.5 innings of play, we're heading to the bottom of the 4th. And it is 8-3, the Lady Panthers over the Lady Raiders. This is a K-West production.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
And we are back once again. Lady Panthers softball, home game tonight in Weslaco, Texas. Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. Heading to the bottom of the 4th, 8-3. It is the Lady Panthers over the PSJA North Lady Raiders. Best out of 3 series. PSJA North won last night at home. It's Texas Class 6A softball area playoff series.
Leading off for the Lady Panthers.
Leading off is going to be Lily Torres, who popped her first time up to the shortstop.
She's made some good plays in the field, hasn't she?
Absolutely. She popped up to the shortstop the last time up, but also singled and scored in the first.
And this time, second to first. First ball hitting, 1 quick out. Lady Raiders beat the Lady Panthers last night, by the way, 5-2. Key was a 4-run 6th inning for the home team. So,
For the Lady Panthers, number 20,
Katia Reyes.
And Katia's been busy tonight. Reached on an error and scored her first time up, and then had an RBI double and scored in the big second inning.
And did we get a message about whether she can come out of the game at all?
Yes, it turns out, I know you and I were discussing about whether a pitcher can come back after she's taken out, and it turns out that that is the case. I had a text message from Danny Hinojosa, who's a former coach at Weslaco East that works for Weslaco ISD and is a big Cubs fan, I might add there.
Good for him.
And has a lot of experience in softball, and sent me a text, so he must be watching this live. So we thank him for that message. But it turns out that, yes, a player can come back. I don't know if Coach Rodriguez would want to do that in this situation, but that can happen.
Well, Katia, clean single up the middle, gets on base. And you said Danny was a Cubs fan. Of course, I grew up in Chicago, lived in Wrigley Field in the late 60s to the mid 70s. Saw all those guys that era. Ernie Banks.
Billy Williams.
Yeah, Ron Santo.
Ron Santo.
Yep, all that bunch. Ferguson Jenkins pitch. Kenny Holzman. I mean, I know them all, Danny.
Who was the manager?
Oh, well, the guy, and this guy actually later on managed the Astros for about a year and a half, and about, I think, 72, 73, somewhere in that time. Leo the Lip DeRocher. Okay, he was the manager from like 66 to around, I don't know, 71, and then ended his managing career with the Astros.
Yeah, that I did not know. I know they had a great team in 1969.
Yeah, that was Leo DeRocher. Trouble was he played his players every day, and in that hot sun, remember, all-day games, and just wore them out.
Before the lights
Yeah,
at
well,
Wrigley.
the Mets had a 6.5 game lead over the New York Mets going into
September.
September. Actually, maybe not quite that much in September, but in August, 6.5 game lead, and Mets beat them. Nolan Ryan was a 19-year-old on the Mets, of course. He is what from Refugio, Texas. Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know if Refugio.
Well, no, he was born there.
He was
only,
born
only
there.
lived there 6 weeks.
And
That's
then he
the
moved,
story.
I believe, to Alvin?
Yes,
Was it
yes,
Alvin?
yes, but he was actually born there. All right, we have another single this time. So runners on first and second. And that, of course, was a good job.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 25, Jordan Diaz.
And
Jordan
Jordan Diaz
right.
walked and scored her first time up in the first and then singled in the second inning. And Adria Escamilla is the one who got the single.
Yep.
They're going the opposite way.
So we'll see if the Lady Panthers can score in this half inning. Again, they scored in all 3 of the other innings they were at bat. But no, the Cubs, that was a lot of fun in that era. A lot of winning teams never went to the World Series, but had a lot of fun out there. All-day games. And believe it or not, a bleacher ticket back then was $1. Ladies could actually get in free on Fridays. How times have changed. I think you get a bleacher ticket now, it's like $100, minimum.
And it's general admission, correct? You have to get there early.
Yeah, box seats at that time were $3.50 back in 1969 at Wrigley Field. So
a little bit of history there.
Yes. So I did that for Danny since he was nice enough to help us out. And now that ball is going to be hit to right field, but right to the right fielder. Perfect positioning to make the out.
Kind of hesitated a little bit, and then I think she took like maybe one step back, but other than that, she was there at perfect position to make the catch.
I've got to double check who is the right fielder now, because Heaven was the right fielder, but now she's pitching, so maybe we can check when they come in.
But nevertheless, that was a nice catch out there against this wind, as we've seen tonight. No catch has been easy.
So we have a designated runner, right?
Right, it looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner for Audrey.
Jules Garcia. Still runners at first and second. 2 outs now.
And Lynn Garcia is 1 for 2. Had a 2-run single in the first, and then grounded to the shortstop unassisted in the second inning.
A couple players that had no hitters during that era were Ken Holtzman and Milt Pappas. Remember that name?
The last one, yes.
Yeah.
The first one,
no. Holtzman was a young guy, came up at about, I think he wound up with the Yankees later, but he came up like around 19 years old when he played, and played with the Cubs for quite a while. He was part of that starting rotation, I think back in '69. Ken Holtzman, Bill Hands, Fergie Jenkins, they were at least 3 of the starters. Had the Vulture, talk about nicknames, the Vulture, Phil Regan, or I think it was Regan, was in the bullpen. Later was a major league manager. Was a reliever. They had Ted Abernathy, who was a sinker ball pitcher.
And we were talking about Nolan Ryan winning a World Series as a 19-year-old, and it turned out that was his only championship, correct?
Yeah, that was, I believe.
How interesting. And it's funny because the great Hall of Famer, Tony Dorsett, won a Super Bowl in his rookie year with the Dallas Cowboys. And
didn't the year before he win a national championship in '76? Johnny Majors was the head coach with the Pittsburgh Panthers.
I believe so. The Pittsburgh,
team?
University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, University of Pittsburgh. I know that's the name.
Won the Heisman.
Yeah. And then Johnny Majors wound up going to Tennessee later. So count is now 3-1. Good eye.
So this is where things can get interesting, Scott, because now you have 2 runners on. You have a great hitter in Lynn Garcia with a 3-1 count with 2 outs.
All right, ground ball towards short, and unassisted, the shortstop will go Loretta to make the out. So in the inning, 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left on base. After 4 complete innings of play, it is 8 runs for the Lady Panthers of Weslaco, PSJA North, Lady Raiders 3. This is a K-West production.
Weslaco ISD All-Day Pre-K, where every child has a unique way of learning. Through fun activities, we encourage your child's creativity and compassion. At Weslaco ISD, our TEA certified teachers provide the highest standard of education along with social and emotional learning. Come join our family and one of the many elementary schools recognized with numerous distinction designations for their academic programs. Weslaco ISD, all day pre-K, the right choice.
And we're back once again. Weslaco High School, Lady Panthers softball field. Lady Raiders at bat, top of the fourth. It's the playoffs, 8-3. Lady Panthers lead the Lady Raiders.
And leading off is going to be number 21, Amy Buenrostro, who struck out looking back in the third inning. And Katia still in the circle. Already has pitched 4 innings tonight and then 7 last night, so she's pitched 11 innings so far in the series. It was nice to see her have a 1-2-3 inning in the fourth.
Yes.
After a tough third inning.
So first 2 pitches are balls. Good eye. Wind seems to die down a little bit.
Just a little bit there.
Yeah.
It's still blowing out, but it's not howling out like the first pitch.
That's a strike, 2-1. Little change up there.
Buenrostro making Reyes work. Great location there.
Yes.
Got the outside corner.
2-2. Now, I don't know. I know, obviously, you're involved with the Panthers program. I don't know if you know too much about the Lady Raiders, but Lady Panthers traditionally are pretty good at softball, right?
Absolutely. They've made the playoffs in 10 out of the last 13 years under Coach Mario Rodriguez.
So he's been here a while.
He's been here a good while, yes.
That ball's fouled off. Count 2-2.
And it's a pretty healthy program. We've had players that have come in and out of the program. And obviously the magical year of 2016 where they went to the Final Four. We have 2 players left from that team.
And that ball is a called third strike. So 1 out, and what's that, about the 5th strikeout?
I have that as strikeout number 6.
6, okay. So we had 5 going in, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so that was the 5 going into this inning. That's number 6.
So the Lady Panthers have made the playoffs 10 out of the last 13 years, but they've made it for the 5th year in a row. Last year, lost a tough series with Edinburgh Vela. Last year, the Lady Panthers were still in 32-6. They played Edinburgh Vela out of 31-6A in the bi-district round, and then with the realignment, Weslaco now representing 31-6A.
And that ball hit off the bat. Possible bunt attempt, but it is caught in the air for the outs. Reyes
had to jump a few feet high.
She's tall. She's a pretty tall young lady.
Pretty tall for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, I don't have
so.
the stats on her height, but just looking.
I would say she's easily 5'9", maybe 5'10", if I had to take a guess.
So we have 2 outs.
But did a great job there. Great athletic play and getting the first 2 outs of the inning.
That'll be a ball 1. Alexa Salinas, center fielder.
She had that big RBI triple.
I think I heard some people call her Lexi. That might be her nickname.
In the 3rd inning. And then scored. And she's 1 for 2. Grounded to second back in the 1st inning.
taking her time. After pitching every inning over the last 2 days, she can take all the time she wants, as far as I'm concerned. It's now 3-0.
And one thing I've noticed, Scott, is the Jada Lopez out in left field is playing deeper this time versus her last time up.
And that is a called strike. Can't blame the batter with a 3-0 count for just putting the bat on her shoulder that time. That happens even in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, usually coaches, they'll tell their pitcher, unless it's the pitch that you want, don't swing.
That time, swings it, some high cheese, am I saying that right? That old baseball term. I was doing some UTRGVA baseball over the weekend and working part of the time with Brian Smith, and he kept using that term, high cheese. You've heard of that before?
I don't think I have, no.
That's an old baseball term, I understand. All right, that time, down to short, one hops, and it goes into the dirt. Probably going to be an error.
It was a great job there by Helen picking up the ball, but the throw was a little low, and the inning stays alive.
It'll be an error.
Okay.
But, and again, nothing toward her. She really made a good attempt, but those things happen sometimes.
And the thing about softball is that you got to make those plays quick.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's
a shorter
field.
That's what I want to make clear. It's easier to get errors to some extent in this game if you're not familiar with it, because it's a shorter distance from home to first. So she's got to fire it even quicker. It's not just doing a great job fielding. You got to get it off real quick to get them, because these are still athletes. They run fast. Shorter distance. All right. At the plate, Gina Fabula, first baseman. 0-1 the count.
And she had an RBI single in the third inning to bring home Salinas. 1 for 2, flew to right.
Kind of a floater that time. 1-1 the count.
By the time Adria Escamilla got that pitch, Jenna was already off the batter's box. There was no way she was going to swing that one.
Fastball down the middle, swinging strike. Be interesting to see if we had a clock here to see how speed clock, is that what you call them?
Radars, I think.
Radars, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. A radar to see how fast these pitches are. Goes up high for that one, and that is strike 3. So in the inning, I think at least 2 of the outs, 2 of the outs were strikeouts. So in this inning, no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 batter left on base. As we go to the bottom right now of the 5th inning, the score is 8-3. Lady Panthers over the Lady Raiders. You're listening to a K-West production.
Weslaco ISD graduates receive more than $4 million in college scholarships, including dozens who will play college sports. More than 900 received a certification and are ready for the workforce or continuing their education. Over 400 honor graduates will have opportunities to study at top-tier universities. And we are proud of our scholars graduating from medical school, law school, business school, and Ivy League universities. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for high school and beyond.
And we're back once again. Lady Panthers softball on K-West, Weslaco, Texas. We're on YouTube tonight, live, along with Mike Gonzalez. I'm Scott Harrison. Playoff time. Lady Panthers, Ashley Sada leading off, 8-3. They lead, bottom of the 5th. And again, we don't see any Panthers roaming around, live ones, I mean, as far as animals, but we did see a little doggy down there, so pet-friendly facility, like that right away.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I don't have a Panther, but I have a couple of cats, and we won't even give the number of dogs I have. I don't want to scare people, so maybe later. But they're all Chihuahuas and Pomeranians or mixes. But anyhow, first pitch is a strike. How's Ashley been doing tonight?
Ashley's 1 for 2, tripled and scored in the 3rd inning. She actually led off the 3rd inning with a triple and then went on to score. She scored the last Lady Panther run and hit it into a 6-3 double play back in the 1st inning.
0-2 the count, and if I remember, that triple was down the right field line, right?
Which is barely fair down the line. She's also made some big catches out there in right field.
Foul ball, stays alive.
We were talking about Katia Reyes and her availability and
Yeah.
whether she can come in back or not. But when the time comes for Coach Rodriguez to bring in a different pitcher, that's who it would be. It would be Ashley Sada,
Okay.
who has a lot of experience actually as a 3-year starter in her sophomore year, was in the playoffs and did a wonderful job.
So potentially, and we're just talking, no one knows what's going to happen. We don't even know if there's going to be another game tomorrow. But Sada could be the starter then, you're saying?
Possibility,
Okay,
yes, if Coach Rodriguez decides to maybe bring Ashley in for a few innings and then perhaps bring Katia in
I can
later
see
in the
Katia
game.
going back, and I'm just talking logic. I don't know what the coach is going to do. There was a ball, and now there's a foul ball, so it's 1-2 the count.
But the great thing about that, Scott, is that you have an experienced pitcher who's a
Yeah.
senior and who's been in the big games before. A few years ago, the Lady Panthers win, I believe it was the 3rd round, and she was a big part of it. Pitched a couple of wonderful gems. I believe one of them was against Edinburgh High.
All right, that ball, right fielder gets it. Nice job out there. I believe that's 21 playing right field. We were trying to figure out who it was.
And if it is 21, it would be Amy
Yeah.
Buenrostro.
Yeah.
But
There was some
did a
changes
great job.
because Heaven came in to pitch. She was originally the right fielder to begin the game. And she's made a couple nice plays in right field, or at least had herself well positioned. I'm not trying to say she was making diving plays, but at least she knew where to be positioned to make the outs, make the catches. So, Merlin Chavarria is up.
And she's had a great night at the plate.
This time, skies it towards center field, way back. It's a home run over the center field fence. If you're familiar with the stadium, it went over the tee in Lady Panthers, and that is about as deep as you're going to hit one in this stadium. For my first game here, and I see a blast, a bomb, a monster home run.
Yeah, Chavarria got all of that, and I mentioned that she's had a good night at the plate. Now it's turned into a great night at the plate. 3 for 3 on the night, double, single, and now a home run. Lady Panthers now lead 9-3.
Not just a home run, she tattooed that thing out of here. All right? Is the mark of the bat on it?
Straightaway center, almost
Yeah.
hit the
I
pole
mean,
there.
you know, it couldn't be any deeper than that. That is the deepest you can hit a home run in this stadium.
Yeah, the center fielder kind of went as far as
Yeah.
she could, Alexa
Oh, yeah.
Salinas,
Yeah.
and ran out of space there.
All right. That's like a 50-yard field goal, right, if we're doing a football game. Stacy Batista at bat, designated player number 10.
I know in watching last night's game at PSJA North, they mentioned in the broadcast that they had more of a crosswind. The field is positioned a little differently than here at Weslaco High School.
That ball is short, gobbled up, fast throw, on the mark, and that is going to be an out.
This is more of a hitter's ballpark because the fence or the walls is a little shorter than a lot of the parks, and then the wind is usually blowing out, especially when we reach this time of year where we don't get cold fronts. The wind comes from the south to the north, kind of like Wrigley Field. We talk
Yeah,
about the Cubs.
that's right.
That's how it is in the summertime, and that's why when the wind is blowing out, it's usually a hitter's ballpark. When we start the year, wind is usually blowing in because we'll have the wind blowing from the north to the south.
At bat now, top of the order, shortstop Helen Gonzalez. And she will top that ball, and easy play, pop out to the first baseman, Jenna Fabula. So in that inning, 1 run, 1 hit, the home run, no errors, no one left on base. We have played 5 complete innings. It is the Lady Panthers over the Lady Raiders, 9-3. You're listening to a K-West production.
Register now for Weslaco ISD all-day pre-K and kindergarten. Come join our family and one of the many elementary schools recognized with numerous distinction designations for their academic programs. Registration is now taking place at the USDA building on 4th Street. Call 969-6670. Weslaco ISD, all-day pre-K and kindergarten. The right choice.
And we're back once again. Weslaco High School says home of the Pantherettes. Lady Panthers, I guess they use different terms, but now it's called the Lady Panthers, right?
Traditionally,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
Pantherettes
Okay.
for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe within the last 15 years or so, more people start calling it the Lady
and that's
Panthers.
happened in a lot of places.
Sure.
So it's nothing new or nothing uncommon, just a change in the times. So it's 9-3. Lady Panthers, formerly Pantherettes, are leading over the Lady Raiders. I don't know if they ever were the Raiderettes, but we won't go into all that right now. But we will say, coming up to bat and trying to get a rally going is going to be number 12, Heaven Lazaro, who started off at right field, then later on came to pitch, took over for Andrea Salazar.
And she's 0 for 1, flew to center field the first time up in the second inning, then drew a walk in the third inning. Takes first pitch for ball number 1.
And we heard Pitbull during the break. Enjoyed his music. I've seen him before in concert. Second pitch is low. My sister actually heading to New Orleans for Jazz Fest this weekend, going to see Pitbull on Saturday. So if you want to know where he is this weekend, he'll be in the Crescent City. Probably 100,000 people will be at that horse track where they have those concerts.
Must be an
The
outdoor
Jazz Fest.
concert.
Yeah, it's a Jazz Fest. It's a big, I think at the same time you got Dave Matthews performing on one stage and Pitbull on another. So that's the kind of, the Rolling Stones were going to be there. But of course,
wow.
Mick Jagger had the heart surgery, so that got canceled. But he was supposed to be at Jazz Fest. Supposed to be in Houston, too, at NRG Stadium recently. But that's another story for another time. All right. 2-1 is the count. Ball is low. But,
So if you're Katia Reyes,
yeah.
the mindset you have is 6 outs. Get 6 outs and
Right.
then focus on tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But it's one hitter at a time, one pitch at a time.
You know, Heaven is such a pretty name. I've said that. And it made me think, because I like music, of all the songs that have the name Heaven. We're not going to go through all of them, but a couple real quick. Just Like Heaven by The Cure, and Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle, and Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. So there's just a few real quick, and I could go through a bunch, but we're not going to
And
do
if
that.
you're into power ballads,
Yeah.
Heaven by Warrant.
Yeah, there you go. And I have seen Warrant.
Me
So,
too.
yeah, so yeah.
Yes.
So that's cool. So we're just having a little fun. And again, we're trying to say that Heaven has a real pretty name, and you know, like I said, I've not heard that many girls named Heaven. Have you? I'm serious about that, though. Have you?
Very few.
Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah.
few.
It's
but
such a pretty name.
It's unique and it's beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah. And she's got the talent to go along with the pretty name. So a little discussion at the mound. And they got this song called Wobble on, and of course, home fans hoping Katia does not wobble here, stays
Right.
straight to the mark for the rest of her pitching night.
You know what? We've seen Coach Rodriguez come out to have a few words with Katia throughout the night. He just wants to make sure that that she's focused and have the game under control right now. But we don't want things to unfold or anything bad to happen.
And Heaven hits the ball, one bouncer to second, fumbled by the second baseman, but gets it up and gets the out. I was almost sure that was going to be an error.
You saw what she did, though, right?
Yeah. Talk about it.
Oh my goodness, that was one bouncer to Lily, and then the only chance she had was to throw it off her glove, and that's what she did. We see a lot of that in Major League Baseball. I don't know if I've ever seen that in softball, in high school softball. That was just an outstanding job.
Let's tell the crew here, after that play by Lily Torres, send that to Bristol. Okay, Sports Center tonight. Need that on Sports Center.
Top 10 plays?
Yeah, or even there's a lot of other people that will put things on like that. So send that one out. I know it's on YouTube Live, let me say that clearly. I'm only a professional announcer, so don't expect me to say things clearly. All right, it's now 1 out. And that one rocketed toward left field, and that is out of here. Home run. So, a big shot that time. It is by Andrea Salazar, right?
That is correct. Her first hit of the night,
Yeah.
got all of that. There was no doubt about that. I saw Jada Lopez look up, took a few steps, but could only watch it as it goes over the wall. And the Lady Raiders, with that home run, have cut the lead to 9-4. And now we see Coach Rodriguez come out to talk with Audrey Escamilla.
Well, did she say, I want to hit the bus? That one almost hit the bus out there.
It went into that direction, that's for sure.
But that was a nice job. And, of course, she was the starting pitcher.
Right.
And she then taken out. But
I guess if there was
yeah.
a positive, if you're a Lady Panther fan, if there is a positive out of that, is there was nobody on base.
Yes.
It was just a solo shot.
Yes.
But still a 5-run lead for the Lady Panthers.
And, again, we are in the top of the 6th. Remember, these games, regulation, are 7 innings. We'll go to extra innings with a tie. So we have a 1-1 count right now. Giselle Mendoza, designated player. And that one hit high to center field. Center fielder can't get it, goes over her head, and that is going to be a double. So that's coming to light, or life that is, for the Lady Raiders, as Diaz just went over her head, had no chance for it. Just a good hit to deep center field.
Yeah, it was very well hit to
Yeah.
deep center, and it went over Jordan Diaz's head, and I think
Yeah.
the wind had something to do with that. Jordan seemed to me like she potentially had a play, but I think the wind just carried it over her head there and into the wall.
Wind can play tricks on you.
Absolutely, absolutely, and Giselle Mendoza with a double.
Just one out. As you mentioned, 5-run lead, 9-4. Should the Lady Raiders win tonight, they'll move on in the state playoffs. If the Panthers, Lady Panthers, hold on, there'll be a third game tomorrow night, 7:30 at PSJA North to determine who moves on in the playoffs. Best of 3 series. And coming up, it is Kendra Garcia, the left fielder, at least earlier in the game. I guess she's still there, though. Yeah, she is. She was the one shaken up, but again, has since been to bat, been playing, so she's fine.
And she struck out swinging her last time up in the 4th inning. The infield playing in.
And it's going to be a wild pitch, and runner advances to third. Play was closer than I thought. You talked about how the catcher is very good for the Lady Panthers, making plays. Looked like the runner would get easily to third, but she actually made it a little tougher.
Yeah, and if you notice, Scott, she didn't even hesitate to throw to third base.
No.
She just kind of has a presence of mind of just getting the ball and doesn't even see where the third base bag is, but just kind of delivers it, just kind of having it in her head, knowing
Audrey's
exactly where it's at. Yeah, absolutely.
And that time, it's going to be a strike, 1-2. So remember, an infield out, fly ball can possibly bring in a run and get it down to just a 4-run lead for the Lady Panthers. And that time, pops it up. Catcher calls for it. Right at home plate, she gets it for the second out.
Yeah, on a pop-up like that, and you have 4 infielders that can come
right.
in, you let your senior, your best player make that play, and that was Audrey Escamilla. Got underneath it, and it was in fair territory, it looked like, correct?
Yes.
It looked like it was foul, and then it kind of came back to fair.
Yeah, the wind is going to play some tricks on you. And again, that was not as easy as it might look. Okay, that was not an easy play.
And that was a big out right there.
Yes. Because that way, again, like we were talking, a fly ball cannot get it in. And now we have a change, right, in the lineups?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have, you see Coach Rodriguez talking to the umpire
right.
there.
All right, maybe they'll announce it.
And I wonder if that is Tori Zuniga making her way to right field and Ashley Sada coming out.
Right, that may be.
And as we mentioned earlier, Scott, Sada is the number 2 pitcher in this rotation. So I wonder if maybe Coach Rodriguez is going to give her some work here, or.
And
okay, I was told by Mike Palacios, our chief photographer, that Ashley actually moved to center field. And so we're just having a switch, I guess.
Okay.
So, but it appeared to me that it was a Tori Zuniga, number 16, because I could have swore I saw a 1 somewhere in there. Now at right field.
Now you got, like I said, these young ladies have the beautiful long hair, and it's pretty to look at, but sometimes very tough to try to figure out numbers.
So if Ashley if Ashley Sada's in center field now, that means Jordan Diaz is the one that is out of the game.
Okay. Now we'll try to confirm things when we can. At bat, Angel Lozano, the third baseman. And keep in mind now it'll take more than a long fly ball or an infield out possibly to bring in the runner. Like you said, that was very key, that last out.
So now you have the infield playing at normal depth there, but third baseman with a few steps in.
Big swinging strike, 0-2.
And Lozano struck out swinging back in the fourth inning, which actually ended the fourth inning. Katia could get one more of those and get out of the sixth inning.
And that is a swinging strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts there for that player. And at the end of the inning, one hit. Actually, I believe 2 hits, 2 hits, 1 run. No errors, 1 left on base. And as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, it is the Lady Raiders trailing the Lady Panthers 9-4. This is a K-West production.
Talk to your counselor about CTE courses that provide academic credit in science, math, English, fine arts, and speech. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for CTE.
And here we are, heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. If they can hold on to the lead, this will be the last at bat today or tonight for the Lady Panthers, but only time will tell. They have a 9-4 lead over the Lady Raiders of PSJA North. Again, playoff baseball. Team wants to move on, both of them in the playoffs. This is the Texas Class 6A Softball Area Playoff Series. Again, the Weslaco Lady Panthers hosting the PSJA North Lady Raiders. And Lily Torres leading off at second base. I've really been impressed with her, both offensively and defensively.
Absolutely, especially defensively, making some great plays. But she's 1 for 3 at the plate, was a big part of that first inning. She singled and scored, and then popped to short in second, and then grounded to second base.
You know, and that's why, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's why I told you I was impressed with offensively. You were talking earlier about how they were able to position bats, position hits, and, just really control their bats to get hits. And she was part of that early, one of those 2 early hits that led to the momentum for Weslaco.
Yeah, they were able to put up 4 runs in that first inning, and then 3 more in a second.
Yeah.
So Lady Panthers got a nice lead to start the game, and then now the Lady Raiders showing some fight, trying to creep back into this game. But their first 2 innings have been the key.
So 1-2 now is the count, but it's amazing how they just position those bats to get those hits.
Absolutely.
Am I saying it right? I mean, that's how I look at it.
I believe so.
Is that the proper description of it?
Her and Helen are your best slap hitters.
Yeah, slap hitters. I think that's
right.
Maybe I say position, but I guess the proper term is slap hitting. So.
And we mentioned earlier Ashley Sato moving from right to center. And then we had a new right fielder, and Jordan Diaz came out of the game. Well, Jordan Diaz is warming up in the bullpen, so we may potentially see her in the 7th.
Now, there's a slap hit down the third base line, and it's a great out. Great job by the third baseman. I thought it would be beaten out for a hit, but a great job by Lozano, Angel Lozano, picking that ball up midway between home and third, right by the line. It was a fair ball, and just getting a little mustard on it and getting it down to first. I really thought it was going to be legged out for a base hit.
Yeah, it was a great pickup
Again,
and
one
a
of
great
those
throw.
slap hits you were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And Katia, for a freshman, has very good speed. I beg your pardon, Lily Torres. Lily Torres has very good speed.
And Gatia Reyes has 2. We'll see if she can make it. It will be easy because it looks like it's going to be an error on the shortstop. Grounder to short was muffed, and Reyes gets to first. Again, we'll have to see if it's going to be an error.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 4, Audrey Escamilla.
Audrey Escamilla is up. I believe it was an error up there, I think. So, Escamilla, who we've talked a lot about, that was one of the main players you pointed out to me, Mike, before the game, about her leadership, about all the things she could do offensively and defensively, and she has lived up to your billing.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. And is a home run hitter for this team. Missed about 5 games in the middle of the season due to a foot injury, but has bounced right back.
And looked like a moment she was going to try to either bunt or slap hit, but then just took a full swing at it and fouled it away down the right side.
And this is where they need her, bringing all that experience. And, the Lady Panthers are going to make a long playoff run. She's going to be a big part of it.
9-4, top of the 6th. Lady Panthers on top. That ball again fouled off. Right side, 0-2.
And that last play was ruled an error, so that's error number 3 for PSJA North tonight. Lady Panthers with 2 errors.
And that ball outside and low. And of course, the wind has made a little bit of an adventure in the outfield too. Some balls that might have been caught normally have gone in for hits.
Yeah, we see a little conference there between the first baseman and the pitcher there. Want to make sure they're in the same page.
Yep, Jenna Fabula, first baseman. That ball hit hard, and it'll be in the gap between center and left field, and that could score a run, or no, they're going to hold her. And so it is a double that time. Escamilla hits a double, and runner stops over at third.
And for Audrey, that's her second hit of the night, 2 for 4 on the night.
And Jordan Diaz, who we might see pitch, possibly, right? Bottom of this inning.
And it looks like we have a courtesy runner.
Okay.
Which has been Jules Garcia throughout the night.
And it is.
And it is Jules Garcia.
So catching is hard enough. It's nice that they let you get a little break there.
And I think it was smart of Coach Rodriguez holding Katia there at third base with Jordan Diaz, a great hitter, up to bat and only 1 out.
No, yeah. And that is going to be a high, ball 1. And again, a lot of options to get a run in, as we've talked about. You can get a run in with an out. So again, don't squander that possibility.
Absolutely, and we see the first baseman and third baseman playing at their normal positions, but we see the shortstop and second base playing for pretty far back. And then
that's a strike. And I didn't get their names tonight, but the umpires, I believe, have done a nice job. So I'm sorry we didn't get your names before the game, but hats off to your work.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice, clean game. Being that this is the playoffs, they usually get the best umpires possible for this kind of game.
And that was a strike. 1-2. Swing. Oh. Nobody's left, I'll tell you that. Everybody's here for both sides. Good fans for both schools. Ball is high. And of course, I know you're talking about a rivalry with Vela earlier. Of course, we know how that is in football too, right? Bell's becoming quite a rival for Weslaco schools.
Yeah, had a great game, great district game back in the fall. And then I know in basketball, very competitive as well.
And that ball hit down toward right field. Right fielder has it, but runner will tag up, and Reyes will score. Also, we see Audrey tags up and goes to third. So sack fly, scores a run.
So that would go as an F9, but RBI sack fly.
Diaz getting the RBI.
So she did her job in bringing in a run there.
At first base.
And now it's 10-4.
And again, you know, it was great doing football this past year, and I know Coach Salinas has moved on, I guess, into the private sector, but I want to say it was a pleasure having the opportunity to watch him coach for Weslaco Panthers.
Yeah, he was brought in to
and he was from Vela, that's one reason I bring that up.
Right. He was brought in from Edinburgh Vela, and they brought him to Weslaco High and kind of rejuvenate the program, get it back to where we feel it belongs, and he did just that.
And of course, I want to say personally, I haven't been on the air on your broadcast in a while since he's gone. I want to wish him best of luck in his future ventures, and new coach promoted from within, right?
Absolutely. Roy Stroman, he's actually sitting over here next to the Lady Panther dugout.
Okay.
New athletic coordinator, new football coach, very excited.
Yeah, we wish him the best of luck. Got a few players back, right?
Well,
Jacob Cavazos and people like that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole offense is going to come back. Roy Stroman is known more of a defensive guru, where they lost a lot of the players, but I mean, he's a great coach. He was a long time an assistant. Always had one of the top defenses as a coordinator.
Ball up the middle, shortstop has it, fires down to first, and that is going to be the out. So, in that inning, I believe we had one run, one hit. We had an error involved there, and had one left on base. And after 6 complete innings of play, it is now double digits for the Lady Panthers as they lead the Lady Raiders 10-4. This is a K-West production. And we're back once again. Could this be the last half inning of softball for tonight? Only time will tell. Lady Raiders need a rally. Of course, they got 4 in the 6th inning last night, so never say it's over when you're talking about PSJA North and their softball team. But they've got to get 6 to have a bottom of the 7th, 6 to tie this game at least, as the Lady Raiders trail the Lady Panthers. We're at Weslaco High School, Lady Panthers softball field. Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison.
And it looks like Coach Rodriguez is sticking with Katia Reyes to finish the job here, get 3 more outs, and get ready for tomorrow. Your leadoff hitter is going to be Amy Benrostro, the number 9 hitter.
Right fielder?
Right fielder. Yeah, exactly. She's the number.
Now
she is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
All right. And while we have a chance, Mike, just real quick, in case this is going to be our final half inning, why don't we talk about our crew tonight? The dynamic duo tonight has done a great job.
Well, we are live tonight on YouTube and on Facebook, and the reason for that is because of our chief photographer, Mike Palacios, getting it done back here, and our cameraman, Vinny Berry, standing right behind us, doing a wonderful job here to give this K-West production.
And didn't see him dance during the last time when they had Footloose on, but even Vinny can be a little footloose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He can bust a move up there.
And even do some YMCA here and there.
Yeah. And obviously, love talking pro wrestling with him when I get the opportunity.
No doubt. I mean, hopefully next time maybe they'll play some Macarena or something. that'd be fun to watch.
1-2 is the count. And a foul ball. And, of course, the K-West crew is just great during football. I always brag. I mean, there's like 10, 12 of them working, between photographers and people doing replays and just everything. Just an amazing crew that works these games in
Yeah.
all the sports.
Yeah, we are blessed
Yeah.
to have a wonderful team here at Weslaco ISD and for K-West.
Yeah, and let's talk. I guess Joey's doing the game tomorrow. Let's talk about Joey. He, I think, got his master's degree tonight, right?
Yeah, congratulations to Joey. I know he's watching this game, enjoying it.
Joey Aguilar.
Joe Aguilar.
Yeah. So he'll be back tomorrow. And 1-2 is the count.
If there is a game 3
Yeah.
tomorrow
Yeah, if
night,
there is one. Well, if there was one,
it
yeah.
will be live with the PSJA ISD channel,
Yeah.
just like yesterday. However, we will share that link for all the Weslaco High School, Weslaco ISD fans, just like yesterday. You know, great job by the PSJA ISD crew providing game 1, and the game 3 will take place back at PSJA North tomorrow night.
And foul ball. Count remains 1-2.
Barely staying alive there.
No, so Joey won't be involved tomorrow night, or did I make a mistake there? No, okay.
That is correct.
Okay,
It
well,
will-
let
it
me
will-
say he does a great job every time we hear him do football, so I apologize that I was trying to be a good manager for him, right? Trying to give him some more work.
But he was at the game last night.
Yeah, but he will be at the game,
He
I'm
will
sure.
be
Yeah,
at the
that's
game,
that
I'm
much.
sure.
And that's maybe my misunderstanding. But he's a great supporter of Weslaco sports. Foul ball down the left side.
And
I did try to get you some more work, Joey. I really did.
but K-West will be live
Yeah.
for tomorrow night's game, and Joey will be a part of that as myself
Okay.
for Weslaco High opening the playoffs against Los Fresnos.
Okay, so I guess that's what it was. It's going to be baseball tomorrow.
Correct.
I got a little confused on that. But
Right.
Yeah. We want to get that all straight so everybody knows what's going on. Foul ball again. Off the top of the net. Still 1-2.
Yeah, but Rostro doing a great job staying alive here, making Katia work.
Going to earn her victory. Can't say earn her money because these aren't professionals, but earn her victory. And that would have been a wild pitch if someone had been on base, but again, and maybe the catcher would have made a harder effort for it if someone had been on base.
Tried coming with that changeup there, but when Rostro did not take the bait.
So what does the baseball team look like here in the playoffs?
Once again, making the playoffs, I believe for the 14th year in a row it is.
Okay.
Coach Eddie Serna doing a wonderful job with the kids.
Ooh, hit by pitch. First one we've seen of that tonight by either pitcher, or any of the pitchers in the game. Runner goes to first. Well, if you're a Lady Raiders fan, you got to start somewhere.
And as a matter of fact, there are 3 runs in the 3rd inning. The leadoff hitter reached base. So
All right.
for PSJA North, it's one batter at a time. I mean, they got a lot of work to do here, but this is a positive start for them.
Now, I helped out with UTR GVA games this past week. I saw a 9-run inning for the Vaqueros. So it can happen. And at that time, they were just leading 7-6. They swept Seattle U over the weekend, and actually played Texas Tech, the 10th-ranked team, this weekend, won 1 out of 2. So congratulations to UTRGV. All right.
See a throw there to
Yeah,
first.
nice throw to first. Nice motion. Count is 1-1. Luera is up. Caitlin, the shortstop. She's been busy tonight.
Struck out in the 1st inning and then scored in the 3rd inning and then popped to the pitcher in the 5th.
That time, she swats at it, gets the job done moving up the runner, but if you're a fan of the Lady Panthers, you probably don't mind the runner going to second because you get that out in exchange, especially with a 6-run lead.
Yeah, I think Chaveria made the right play there, make the smart decision of just getting that sure out at first base because a runner at second, regardless, doesn't really mean much. What matters most right now are the outs. And now you got 1 out, so you're 2 away from evening this series.
Best of 3 series. Alexia Salinas, center fielder at bat. First pitch is strike. Still plenty of mustard on that pitch for Reyes. Hasn't lost anything in her, 14th inning, pitching in 2 days. Ball up high, Went for it. Another strike, 0-2.
That's him with a high fastball there.
Nobody warming up in either bullpen. Ball got away, but nobody's going to really challenge Aubrey's arm too often, are they?
Yeah, you notice that even when the ball gets away or gets by Audrey,
Yeah, she keeps in front of her.
she keep
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not
is that
only
true?
that,
Yeah.
not only that, but she hustles and gets that ball quickly, and then turns right away.
And that is a strikeout, swinging strikeout. And again, I was going to say before the strikeout, which makes it 2 outs, 1 out away from a victory and a third game. I guess Aubrey, if this is basketball, she get hustle points, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And for Katia, I believe that's strikeout number 8.
Wow. So that's an average over 1 an inning since this is a 7-inning game, if the lead holds. And Jenna coming in now. Fabula, first baseman. And you know what, I did a good job with all the wind today, and we're sitting here in the stands. I didn't lose anything until the 7th inning. I lost my program just moments ago, but that's pretty good for me. It's the bottom of the 7th already. And didn't have anything blow away from me till then.
Yeah, all those losses I think happened in the pregame when we were trying to when we were down there trying to get our notes done.
My notes went everywhere. And
Yeah.
I also want to thank you and Coach Lugo for helping me pick up my notes.
Yeah.
She was a big help too. So I'm a big fan of hers. She was very helpful. And again, I just lost my program, but at least it's now the bottom of the 7th.
Right.
So,
Well, we're 1 strike away
Yeah.
from game number 3.
right, 0-2 the count. And it is over. We're going to have a third game in this series, 7:30 tomorrow. PSJA North will be hosting the Lady Panthers of Weslaco as they come up with a 10-4 victory. And for the Lady Panthers tonight, they had 10 runs, 13 hits, and 2 errors. For the Lady Raiders, 4 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors in the last inning. 3 up, 3 down. Before we turn things off here for the night and enjoy this victory, if you're a Lady Panther fan, Mike, do you have any final comments?
Well, I think Coach Rodriguez got exactly what he wanted. He wanted his team to put the ball in play, and his team delivered with 13 hits and 10 runs. So great job there. Unlike last night where they stranded 13 runners, today was a different story. And give credit to Katia Reyes for
4-game victory.
For the coming up with
Complete
the
game.
victory and earning this win, and winner take all tomorrow night.
And again, she gets the win. She now in this series is 1-0, right? And
1-1.
1-1 because she got the loss yesterday. Okay,
Yes.
so she's 1-1, and Andrea Salazar picks up the loss, and she is 0-1. So again, the final score 10-4, and we appreciate everybody tuning in, both Lady Panther fans and also Lady Raider fans. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It's been a pleasure having you all aboard tonight. This is a K-West production.